Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to the Monogatari series. It is Kizumonogatari, the second movie, first half of it. And you know what to do, as always. If you want to see my reaction itself, just go down into my descriptions, follow the links, replace the circumflex dot parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear my thoughts about this pretty interesting first half of a movie. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, so we handled dramaturgy, and in a very dramatic fashion, very fittingly. I mean, this guy is huge as heck. I mean, he was towering above Araragi, and as we know, he's not the small one either. He's quite a tall guy as well. So, clearly, the change as being a vampire for him made him huge, I guess. I still don't know about these bone swords he has instead of arms if he wants to. That's a bit weird. So, whatsoever. First things first, however, he met again with Hanekawa. Because she's walking around the city again, searching for a vampire again. Still not really clear to me why she's searching for a vampire. I think she wants possibly just to avoid her home, as we know it was not the best one at this time. So maybe that's it. And Araragi is once again not really good at talking to her, so he tries to avoid some things. He is lying to her about studying, saying that he studied Spanish and then completely confuses it with Russian instead. And yeah, so he really is insecure in many ways when she is around. And then he pushes her away, and I'm not sure about his complete reasons. So there's the one that we had in his past, that he is thinking being a loner, being without friends, makes him stronger as a human being. And he tries to tell himself by pushing her away with pretty mean words, by the way, and pretty mean actions, that he gets stronger by doing so. But I ask myself if maybe that is more like telling to himself, because to me it feels a lot like he pushes her away to, I don't know, kind of save her, to make sure she's not running into a vampire, to make sure that him possibly being a threat, being a vampire now, is not affecting her. I'm not sure, however. But it felt a little bit like that to me. There were pretty harsh words in this, in the meaning of, you know, what we've seen in the series before, even when he was talking negatively, talking to, as example, enemies, it was never low words. So he was never below the waistline, he was never really using mean words, and this time he did, so surprising a little bit here. And when she ran away, then he stated, as I said already, that he raised his strength as a human being now again. So that's a theory which is plainly stupid, but well, okay. Then we have the fight itself. So that was, I mean, it was nicely choreographed. In my opinion, there were more than one option where dramaturgy could have ripped him into two. He had him and just threw him through a window instead of just, I don't know, ripping off his head. Which possibly would have made a problem for Araragi, even with all his regenerative powers. But well, it felt to me in the middle of the fight a little bit like he was playing with him, but seeing afterwards the difference in their vampire existence, or the ability to regenerate, he wouldn't have done that. So he clearly really tried to kill him, to destroy him, and just was a little bit unlucky in hitting him. I mean, you have to give it to Araragi. One thing he's able of is evading. Not at the best all the time, you know, evading is not falling down buildings, but still better than getting your head chopped off. So, okay. The regrowth was, well, okay. But it answers the question about the arm. When he first lost his arm. So we know now this will turn into blood then, and just blood will disappear over time. I remember we had that in the series as well, the mentioning of it. And I was a bit surprised that he was able to pull out his new arm out of the socket. Because it felt like his arm was inside his body there, which would make no sense. You know, the bones have to be somewhere and everything. There's no space for that. But if you see that it is created completely instantly from blood, then he possibly just pulled out the blood at this moment. So his body knows what he needs there and constructs the arm while being pulled out of the blood of his body. So in this way, it's okay. And it's a very nice effect. Not one I would like to see, but okay. Just saying, if you're somewhere walking around the streets and you see something like that, I don't know how to handle that. He won the fight pretty nicely by throwing balls at Dramaturgy. So there are multiple things that came in handy here. One thing is the first shots, the first hits with the ball were weak. You know, had no real velocity, had no dangerous impact. So they were just normal, possibly, I would say, human strength throws, but maybe even a little bit below it, because he was not a trained, what it is, baseball player there, so his throws are just, yeah, well. A real baseball player who's able to throw, to pinch, like this, to pitch, I think it is pitch. No, pitch is the hit, right? Who's able to throw? If he would hit you, you would feel that. I'm pretty sure. It goes pretty fast, those balls. And if you would hit the eye, there is possibly a danger for hurting the eye permanently. I can see that. However, the throw that hit the eye of Dramaturgy was clearly stronger than that. Clearly above human strength. So, I don't think he tricked him into it. I think he was about to learn his strength and how to use it. So he remembered the book, how to do some specific movements to increase your power, to increase your velocity and stuff like that. He tried that. And at the same time, he's learning about his new vampiric body. So he increased the strength and the accuracy while throwing. And unluckily for Dramaturgy, his first real and good hit was into the eye. So then he did 2 or 3 more shots, I think, which all hit the eye then. So you could really see that it was not just the eye, but a part of his head was gone as well. So that's a way of taking someone out. And as I said, in this case, due to just in-time learning of your strength and Dramaturgy not taking the shots seriously, due to the weak ones in the beginning. Otherwise, he would have evaded or cut them in half in the air, something like that. And then he wanted to smash him, which is where Dramaturgy just, gave up. I mean, it makes sense. He saw that he was able to lift this thing up in the air, so he was aware that the power that Araragi possesses now is enough to beat him and to smash him so massively that he would need multiple days to regenerate. It would possibly be extremely painful, and it is not worth the fight. So he gave up. And in the moment when he gave up, he became kind of polite, I have to say, you know. I like that. I mean, it was about his life, so I can understand. We got the information about the recovery there, so that makes sense. Other vampires normally do not regenerate that fast. They need multiple days to do it, or at least multiple hours, and in case of huge and dangerous injuries, multiple days. So the idea of Araragi regenerating within mere minutes, sometimes even faster as it seems, is way above a normal vampiric ability, and is due to the bloodline of Kishot. Which, as Oshino later on clearly points out, shows us that she was more or less dead at the moment when Araragi found her, so she couldn't regenerate. So they took her vampiric abilities in many ways as well. So he, meaning Araragi, is a clear lifesaver there. And I do understand that it makes a little bit more sense. They did not finish her. because she was not able to do anything anymore. So, okay. Then he left, and we have Hanekawa appearing. So she saw at least some of it, more than enough to understand what's going on, and the meaning of Araragi is a vampire. And although Araragi tried to push her away again, and there was a nice one. She apologized to him. So she realized, and that's back to my theory I had, that he likes her and pushes her away to save her. In her opinion, he was mean to her to get her away from the fight and from all the danger that is around, and thus she forced him to be mean to her, if you got the concept. Which is, in my opinion, true, at least partially, and partially because he's just, Araragi is just stupid sometimes. And she apologized to him. That was, it increases her humanity in many ways. Her goodness. He is a good human being. You can't deny that. So he tried to push her away again and again, and he used the weirdest words again, and he mumbled. I was waiting for, I don't know, like in the background a snail or something like that in this moment when he mumbled. That would have been nice, like a little bow. Haven't seen one, however. So he stated then that he was after her body, after saying the thing with her money, which is like, where you realize that he's just searching for excuses. So he goes for stupid stuff, and then he goes for a body, and she really did it, which is, by the way, this picture. I don't know what to think about the fact that they used this music for it, however. And the sun aligning itself with the earth and moon and stuff like that. It's like, it's the ultimate moment. But then, it's Araragi, and his mind is quite easily frayed, so whatsoever. And he jumped forward to kind of stop her. So there is this interesting mixture of his feelings, in the meaning of that he is creepy and wants to see specific stuff, and that's that. And on the other hand, he likes her in a way that he wants to make sure she is not lowering herself below some standards. So he's like, he talks about it, and he's digging, and he's like creeping out on her if he can see something accidentally. But if she would be willing to do it openly, that I think would lower her in his opinion, and he will not allow that. At least that seemed to me like when he jumped forward and wanted to stop her. It's a nice thing. So he is a strange mixture, as always. And then he offers to be a friend. He asks her to be his friend. So, yeah, well, as I said, he likes her. No question there. And brings her to Shinobu, where I really ask myself if Shinobu is completely aware of Hanekawa being around, because she was sleeping and just, sat up for a second and said something, then slept again. After she ate the whole leg and turned a little bit, so she looks differently now. Oshinomeme clearly knows something, did something good happen? I mean, don't look through me as if I'm glass. I think something like that Araragi said, and I really question if Oshinomeme is not able to do exactly that. I'm pretty sure he watched the fight. I'm pretty sure he is aware of a lot, and thus he very, very likely saw Hanekawa there as well. So, I think there's not much happening without him knowing it. However, we had this interesting undressing and dressing scene with Araragi being watched by Hanekawa, so there is another creep in the room there. And her name is Hanekawa Tsubada. Seeing that later on, Senjugahara appears, and the true love is Senjugahara. I can now understand more and more that people say there is this triangle. yes, there always was Hanekawa in the fray as well, but it never felt so completely real, you know? It wasn't just like about the body and that he likes her outer appearance and that she's a clever girl, but and more like a friendship thing, you know? With a little bit of goofing? I don't know. With about wanting to have a bit more insight on her. But never like a real deep love, if you know what I mean, the feeling thing. However, now, after seeing the last movie and this one, partially, I can see why many of you think so. These movies so far really do a good impact on the relationship between Araragi and Hanekawa. And there is clearly something more than just hot for each other. Sure, they are hot for each other, but there is some kind of strange respect and deeper feelings from friendship to more forming right now. That's nice. I like it. So, yeah, as I said, she creeps out about his body, which I can understand, and which reminded me, by the way, a lot of Captain America, the first one, where the body transformation of the Cap happens, and when he steps out of the tank, his body is completely transformed into this very muscular human being, as is Araragi now, partially at least, due to the regenerative abilities. And the reaction was the same for the girls. It was like, I just want to touch without saying it clearly and have a little bit of that. So it reminded me a lot of that moment. Yeah, and as it was said, it is due to the regenerative ability. Oh yeah, and in the end of what we've seen, she realized that he kind of ran into Kiss Shot after getting this magazine, which he got after meeting up with her, which has in girls in school uniforms with glasses. So there's a clear indicator for her that he is, well, hot for her. No question there. I guess she knew that already, kind of. But there's like a power game, you know? Both of them creep out about the other one and its body. And they just swap places all the time. Who is more creepy than the other one? At least in this episode. And now she has possibly a bit more of the upper hand again. It's nice so far. I guess in the second half, just guessing, we will see him facing up against Guillotine Cutter and Episode. I don't know, maybe both, maybe only one. And as always, please feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you for the next part. Until then, my name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.